is the Big O Show. This 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 is
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, CuttersEdgePro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that, gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them, they like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do, they play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden, she's the girl right here. She's a badass, that's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. CuttersEdgePro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go, so you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is...
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour. That's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This.
viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Lord. Yes, sir. Time to have some fun. It's a hump day. It's a travel day because Sean and I are headed out to Vegas this evening. Vegas, baby. Vegas. This is like our third trip to Vegas, like in 18 months. We're going to Vegas way too much, Sean. It's just too much Vegas. Or not enough Vegas. We'll see. Anyway, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is a blessing. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button for us. And if you are in Vegas, remember Sunday, we're going to be at Tommy Rockers in Las Vegas. It's right on Dean Martin Boulevard, which is the road that's right next to the highway on the opposite side of the strip. So it's the next street over from the strip, actually, pretty much. And it's I want to say it's that Street of Caesars, the one that crosses the strip, Las Vegas Boulevard, right? And then it's just, and then that street that crosses Caesars, you take that street down, and like if you're headed towards the Rio, but before you get to the Rio, you make a left. And then it'll be right on the underpass, right there on the left side. It's really easy to find, actually. Once you go to it, you'll go, oh, okay, super easy to find. You can see it even off the highway and everything. So it's pretty cool. So if you are going to be in Vegas, if you live in Vegas and you're a listener, viewer, we will be in your town tonight. We'll be there throughout the week. Got my ticket already for Friday night. I'm ready to go for U2 at the Sphere. Been watching videos there on YouTube in Vegas, and people all pumped up about, because the Sphere opens up on Friday for the first time. And so it's been this whole thing because everybody can see the Sphere all over Vegas because it has all those images, as I think most of you have seen. The Sphere in Vegas, how the LED screen that is the entire thing is pretty impressive, actually. So we'll be headed out to Vegas tonight. We'll be at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, broadcasting for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we'll have some fun because we will do something on Saturday also. So we'll be on 7 days a week. This week, because Sunday, obviously, we'll be doing our pre- and post-game show. And then we will fly back. I think we fly like at 11:45 at night and arrive like at 7 in the morning on Monday. Monday's show next Monday will probably be in the afternoon or something like that. I'll probably be solo or something. Sean will probably be recovering or something. Maybe when I crawl out of bed from the flight and everything, maybe we'll do something in the afternoon. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Monday might even be a day off. Monday might be a day that I just say F it and rest. So maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. It all depends. Monday you beat the Bills on Sunday. We'll do our post-game show, which will obviously be a happy post-game show, and we'll talk about the ass-kicking win for the Dolphins. But you probably got to follow it up with some more love on Monday. So we'll try to crawl out of the plane and the bed and give you a little bit of material on Monday and see what the hell is going on. So we got all of that. Let me see what we got here. A little roll call. Steve Chapman, I see, is number one. It says safe travels. Thank you, sir. Thank you. He says, we'll celebrate your birthday with a Dolphins win on Sunday. That's all I want. It's all I want. I don't like, my wife gets frustrated with me over the years because I never make any kind of a deal out of my birthday. Like the girls always, oh, it's your birthday, son. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Let's just go eat somewhere and we're good. I don't need anything. I don't care. And they usually try to make something out of it, but I'm like, it's just another day. I'm older, big deal. You know what I mean? So personally for me, all I want is a damn Dolphins win. I'm going to get my U2 concert on Friday night. I mean, musically, there is no higher high for me than what I'm going to experience on Friday night, because I've been watching U2 for 40 years now, and I've seen them all over the country and in different venues and all kinds of stuff. My next stop for U2, I've said this before, the next time they take out a new album, which they're about to, and they do in the next world tour, I am going to Ireland. That's my bucket list. I got to go see them in Dublin, or I'm sure they'll do Dublin, but if they do Dublin and Cork, then I'll do both. You know what I mean? Something like that. But I got to go see U2 in Ireland. That's my bucket list. That's my next one right there. So we'll see. I know my buddy Greeper is going to go with me. Probably, you know what? If I tell Pat in Nashville, his crazy ass will probably go with us too, to Ireland to go see U2. And all of you are welcome if you all want to, let's make it a group thing and get on out there if you're a U2 fanatic like I am. So I get my present on Friday. I get my U2 concert. That is, when Showtime finalized this whole thing and said, hey, you want to cover the Canal fight? I said, yeah, hells yeah. And I wasn't going to go to this whole thing because we had the Dolphins on Sunday. And my problem was that if we were at a bar, I could not make it back. I could not go to the concert on Friday and Saturday and then come back on Sunday and make it for the pre- and post-game show. So I nixed it. And then this whole thing came up with Canelo, so I'm there. So I said, all right, I'm going to go. What the hell? So Lady Gaga's in town, Tesla. There's a whole bunch of really good concerts also in town during that weekend. During this weekend in what's it called, in Vegas, man, all over the place. I was looking at it yesterday. I'm going to miss a bunch of them because obviously I'm going to be at the fights one night and then U2 another night. But if I lived in Vegas, my God, I would be going to concerts every other night, considering how many go there. So we got Jamie Zoria in the house from San Jose. And always reminding everybody to smash that like button, please. Chad Marchoni is in. One-Eyed Jack is in. You're all right, man. You never have to apologize, One-Eyed Jack. Isaiah in. Josh Allen is the next Brett Favre. There you go. This week reminds me of Kelly versus Marino years. Yeah, except Dolphins are winning here this week. Steven Gonzalez is in. Have an awesome and safe flight and weekend. Thank you. We look forward to it. Look forward to this entire weekend, man. It's going to be fun. Let's see. Dude 67 is in. Lisa Rose in. NorCal. Thank you. He says, happy birthday, Big O. Puff, puff, give. Well, not yet. Sunday will be 57. But yes, sir. Big O, are you going to Buffalo? No, sir. How are you listening? I'm going to Vegas. Beer Noob is in. Crypto Finn is in. Speaking of crypto, I just saw now where they found the biggest golden nugget ever in Uganda. And it's like this ginormous boulder of gold. It's amazing. And, I tweeted out that you're going to keep finding more and more gold. There will be no more Bitcoin. There will be 21 million Bitcoin. Once they're mined, done. And about 3-4 million of those Bitcoins are already lost from people that have lost their Bitcoin and their wallets and all that. So there's probably about 16-17 million Bitcoin out there, which the value is just going to explode. So anyway, you're not going to carry gold around. It's so ridiculous. Eventually, that's how people will figure it out when it's all said and done. Stetson O, Mr. Torres, Gus 1388, Triple S podcast, SM Ducky, True Fin Fan, Nizzo, Nico Jones. Let's get another team in the playoffs. Oh, yes, with the Marlins. Yeah, big doubleheader today, man. This is one of those where you need your pitching. Like when Braxton Garrett starts the first game today at 4 o'clock, you need Braxton to pitch practically a complete game. You cannot have that nightmare of Braxton gets shelled in the first 2-3 innings. And he's pitched well, although he's going up against another guy that's actually pitching well too. But if you get shell-shocked early on and they hammer you and they score a bunch of runs and you're out of the game in 2 or 3 innings or 4, and then your bullpen has to come in and you've got a doubleheader, that's the key to today. The key to today is that first starting pitcher to be absolutely awesome and not put a burden on your bullpen going into one game into the other. So let's hope that they can get things done today. Because I never expected them to even still be in the race at this point. I thought by July, remember I told you, I thought by July it would run out of gas for them. Kudos to them. And Skip Schumacher, man, he deserves a lot of love, dude. Eddie Lepp is in the house. Thank you, Eddie, for showing up at Walk-Ons with the family. That was fantastic. I appreciate you. Duck Dog in, Mike Honcho in, Tim Eason in, Cash the Jula. I was at the ass-whooping game of the Bronco fans, and they looked like their souls just got snatched out of them. Yeah, those Bronco fans. Did you see that Bronco chick that was all mad? And she wanted to fight some Dolphin. And then some guy that's filming it kept screaming, "Go Dolphins!" And she would get all pissed. And she was all liquored up. And some of you out there, you can't handle your liquor, then don't drink, man. NorCal says Tommy Rockers is a cool spot. It is a cool spot, man. Very cool spot. Pretty big place. Got a lot of space. A couple rooms, too. And again, it's a Dolphins bar in Vegas, and I've already broadcasted from Tommy Rockers. So this is the second time we're doing Tommy Rockers. Sean and I were there we did all 3 days of the draft, didn't we? We even did the Sunday. Oh my God. That's freaking nuts. Anyway, we did it over there. We hung out for 3 days, for the draft, and it was awesome. Great people. Food is excellent. TV's everywhere. But one of the things that Sean and I want to do is broadcast from as many Dolphin bars around the world. I think that's the coolest thing out there. So, if Dolphin bars, want to contact us at 786-754-4664, and they want to fly us out there to do a broadcast or two from their place, I would have no problem with that. We've done it from Slattery's, right? We've done it from Tortugas at Flagler Beach, so we've bounced around to a few places already in the first couple of years here. I've told you this many, many times. So if Dolphin bars all over the country or anywhere in the world, and they want to get to put together a couple bucks and fly us out there to do a couple shows, we would love to do that, man. We would love to do that. Let's see. Brian Landis is in. G. Reed. Let's see. When the Finn grills the Bills, you'll get up earlier. That's true. That's actually true, NorCal. There'll be a pep in my step. You're right about that. You're right. I feel it. I'm a different kind of media member. All the rest of the media members, they act all stuffy, and they can't admit to you that they're Dolphin fans and this and that or whatever. And most of them aren't Dolphin fans because most of them are not from South Florida. Okay? Most of them weren't born and raised here, so they weren't raised that way. I'm a brutally honest media member. I'm born in Belle Glade, Florida, raised in Miami, okay? and I'm a true blue South Floridian. I root for all my local teams. I don't hide from that at all. I want them all to win. I want them all to win titles. But if they're not doing it the right way, I'm going to tell you. And I have no problems, and I'm not going to hold back. I'll be just as objective as the stuffy guy or woman that wants to say, I can't be a fan and be a media member. Hell yeah, I can. I can. I don't know about other people, but I know how to do it. I know how to be objective and still be a fan. That's what I do on this show. I don't do a fan show, okay? And I don't do playoff negativity show, and I don't play the sensationalism show and all that kind of stuff. I'll give you a great example, and this is something that I never do. Okay, I try to stay away from it as much as possible. So the boys at Dolphins Talk, right, retweeted something, and this is what I'm talking about. This is where our business is dog shit. Writing, radio, television, this is where it's been polluted. This is where the 24-hour news cycle creates dog shit. Okay? Here's Calturd and Wright. What's his name? Todd Wright? No, not Todd Wright. Not Kyle Wright. What's that guy's name? Wright or whatever. The dude that was kind of short hair. Now he has long hair actually now. Anyway, so this is the dumbest ass argument in the world. Okay? So he gets on his soapbox and says Tua should be demanding a contract right now and have a brand new contract by Sunday or not play or whatever, or, threaten all that, which it's just, I don't want to entertain, but this is what happens with the 24-hour news cycle. And this is what I don't do on this show. I don't play shtick. I don't try to act funny all day long and do all kinds of skits and try to act like, like I'm disgusted by something, insulted by something, or making fun of something and some crazy ass thing. I don't live off the negativity either, all that kind of stuff. And I don't come up with all these silly ass, scenarios that aren't even realistic. So this guy, Wright, I forgot his first name, whatever. There's no chance that Tua would ever create a stink, first of all. So obviously, neither guy has any. That's the other thing about these kind of guys. They don't really know anybody. They might tell you, but they're lying. They don't really have any insight. They're complete bullshitters. Okay? Trust me. As somebody that actually has insight, I know when a media member has insight and when they don't have insight. I can tell when they do and they don't. They have none, okay? Because first of all, they don't know Tua because Tua would never do any of that. And second of all, Tua knows he has to prove that he has to stay healthy all year. So then he can walk into that negotiation room and actually do it. That's, again, what this Wright guy has no idea, or Calturd or whatever. There ain't nobody in Miami going to give you a new contract until you play the whole season. And that you prove to them that this is how you're going to play now. No more hero ball, no more holding onto the ball for 5 seconds or any of that, because you're going to put yourself at risk. So he's doing it. He's only done it for a couple games. He has to do it for the whole thing. And the other thing is Tua is too smart, too classy, and he's team first, and he would never do any stupid shit like raise a stink in the middle of a season. He is focused on winning and winning only. But this is the shit in our business. This is the shit in our business that happens on radio, local, national, that people just come up with stuff that makes no sense, okay? Or they're trying to be cute, or you're coming up with some hypothetical that is a complete load of crap. And then you're just doing that to stir it up, and it gets enough people going, right? Look, I'm even talking about it. You know what I mean? But it gets enough people going. But I'm talking about it in a different sense. It gets idiots going that they actually will discuss it like it's something that could happen, might happen. They might be thinking about it when There's no reality whatsoever in it. None whatsoever. You know what I mean? So that's where our business has gone completely down the sewer. But it's your fault. It's your fault because you feed into that. You're the one that keeps clicking and watching and all that. And that's the problem. And then you follow up the conversation and you try. I had like a guy on Twitter follow up on me like, well, this could be, and those are the stupid people they want to hook. Those are the stupid people they want to hook. That guy that sent me the tweet here, what the hell? Let me might as well out his stupid ass. He doesn't even have, I didn't even respond. Brian Grobler, Goobee41, Goobee 41. Stupid people like that are the ones that they want to hook. People that have zero intelligence because they don't really think about it. You know what I mean? So that's the sad part, but that's where our business is at, and that's what people have to do in order to bring attention to their show and all that. And none of it brings any substance. Like we'll have Joe Shad on at 10:30. Now we'll have some fun with Joe Shad. Now we're going to have some real fun with Joe Shad coming up because, he was retweeting all the Boomer Esiason that Tua is Montana, and it's like, so I retweeted him back like, yeah, when I tell Joe Shad last year that I think Tua's Montana, he goes, this is all shtick, right? He thinks I'm kidding. But he takes Boomer Esiason serious. But no, I'm shtick. When the hell have I ever been shtick? When? Never. My shit is conviction, belief. I don't play that game to have jokes and all that other stuff. I get it, dude. That's what's most popular now. Goofing off and playing some kind of a game that you're disgusted or mad or whatever. And I that's not my style. It's not what I do. It's not what I do. But I get it. It's popular. It's popular and stupid hypotheticals like that. It's popular because we have a very low IQ society. I get it. I totally understand it. Not my style, not what I choose to do. And, that's too bad. My style is my style, and I'm going to stick to it. It's what I've done all my life, and I don't bullshit. I have fun. I joke around, but I'm not going to create, controversy where there is no controversy, and I'm not going to start creating negativity for no reason at all. That's not my style. Jay, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. How would you analyze Miami's offense and defense against Buffalo? Buen viaje. God bless. Miami has the secondary to hang with Buffalo, even without Jalen Ramsey. They have they have the defensive line to play with these guys. I don't believe the Bills have the defense to stop Miami. I don't believe they have the corners to stop Miami. I think that's going to be a major problem for them. They don't have enough receivers to cause problems for Miami. That's the beauty of their situation. They're going to have to use the tight ends a lot. That's what I'm expecting. I think the real key to everything in this game, do not allow the running game and do not allow Josh Allen to hurt you with his legs. Force Josh Allen to beat you with his arm. Do you know why? You will force Josh Allen into mistakes. I have not changed from that. Remember what I told you last year? I told you some of the same stuff. He is not a consistent passer. But if you allow him to get his legs involved in the attack, that's where he brings the balance to his game. So to me, the most important thing for the Miami Dolphins this week, do not allow the running game on any level, running backs or quarterback, to hurt you.
That's the ultimate balancer in their attack. Force Josh Allen to beat you with his arm. You do that, you win this game. If you force Josh Allen to beat you with his arm and you take care of business and don't turn over the ball, I believe Miami wins this game against Buffalo. Okay, I'm taking Miami anyway because I think Miami is the better team right now and the better passer. But they got to go out there and prove it now. This is the final hurdle right here, right? As great as they've looked, if they lose this game, you're going to go same old Miami. We're all going to say that. You got to win this game to kind of say, okay, looks like they're getting over the hurdle that they are not only a good team, but they're also getting past their demons, the Buffalo Bills. So let's see. All right, it's time to go to Mr. Shtick, Joe Shad.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Oh, wait a minute. Did I get him confused? Oh, I did. I put Joe at 10:30 when it's Alex Winley. Joe Shad's at 11:30. There we go. That's right. Let's talk a little football. Inter Miami getting ready, baby. Tonight, it is the U.S. Open Cup. Alex Winley, which, by the way, I want you to know, you need to also sign up for the Pink Heron Press. Okay, I get it in my email all the time. Alex does an excellent job. She recaps everything going on and previews what's going on. If you got the Pink Heron Press from the yesterday, I think I got it yesterday, right, Alex? My Pink Heron Press yesterday, which was previewing, today in the match, and then going over some of the stuff also that's gone on, throughout. So make sure you sign up for the Pink Heron Press. Wait a minute. Joe Shad is there. Did I screw up? Oh, God. Wait a minute. I think I screwed up now. And Joe, Alex, can we do you a little later? Because Joe is in the locker rooms and he's got to go into the locker room for the Dolphins. Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
Can we do 11? Is 11:30 cool with you? Because I think I got my 10:30, 11:30 mixed up. Is that all right? You're the best. I appreciate you, Alex. Thank you. Because Joe's in the locker rooms. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Alex's job is later on. See, I couldn't bother her later on tonight because she'll be doing it. All right, let's go to Mr. Shtick himself, Joe Shad.
It's time to talk Aqua and Orange. Miami Dolphins fans. Here's a man with incredibly high standards. In fact, he isn't impressed with Tyreek Hill's dominance, Jalen Waddle's speed, or even Teron Armstead's swag. It's the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Joe Shad. When you're looking to move your home or business anywhere in the U.S. from coast to coast, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Call 305-602-8369. Let's talk football. Here's Joe Shad.
All right. There he is, Mr. Shtick.
I wanted to learn something about Inter Miami, man.
Hey, I want to know, Mr. Shtick. So why is it Shtick with me, and then all of a sudden with Boomer Esiason, it's the real deal?
That's fair. That's fair. Your remarks are fair. Hey, I have a question before we dive into Tua Love, which is totally fine. I had one quick question. If you had 2 tickets for the first Miami Marlins playoffs game this year,
yes,
or 2 tickets for a Messi game for the remainder of this year, it's not even close?
It's not even close.
Marlins playoff. Okay.
Marlins is the last thing I want to see.
I didn't even realize that there's only 6 games left and they're 1 out.
Yeah, no, I know exactly, but they're frauds because until you really commit to winning, it's nice. You're flirting with the playoffs, and they've kind of done this many times over the years where they're hovering around 500 and they come right down the stretch or whatever, and it's great. It's been fantastic for them and all that. I just need to know that you're really committed. Where I know Inter Miami is more than committed. I know the Dolphins are more than committed. I know the Panthers are more than committed. I know the Heat is more than committed. You know what I'm saying?
And so that's where I'm going to lean more to the teams that are going above and beyond for the fans. You're trading for Kachuk. You're going above and beyond. You're bringing in Messi. You're going above and beyond, dude. You know, you're trading for Tyreek Hill. You're going above and beyond, trading for Jalen Ramsey. That's what I love. I love teams that give a shit about winning. And that's my problem with the Marlins. The Marlins have sucked the love for baseball out of me, dude.
But it's hard to understand. They're one game out of a playoff position. There should be excitement. Now, I live 45 minutes to an hour north of you. I was wondering if people who live closer to you are into this. The Marlins.
I don't think so.
Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Whose fault?
The Marlins' fault. It's the Marlins' fault. Because the problem is nobody believes that this is anything real. It's just a nice little flirt, and then you go back to being the team you've been for the next couple of years, where you don't make the playoffs and you don't commit to players and you don't keep a core ever, and that's the problem. People know. Whereas everything else that I just talked to you about, people are investing. They're making long-term commitments to players, to stars. The Heat are in the middle of trying to add a superstar in Damian Lillard. They never stop trying to be the best. Not, hey, let's see if we can barely do enough to get into a playoff. You know, that's bogus.
I got you. Now, the Heat, the Panthers, and the Dolphins are not only good, they're extremely entertaining. They are very fun. Yeah. Very fun. And so we should appreciate we should appreciate that not only are the Dolphins good, they're not boring. They're so much more interesting and exciting and creative and dynamic and fun. And they're doing the conga line, and they got Tyreek jumping into the stands, and they got their head coach coming up with crazy plays. This is an unbelievable time for you to be hosting a podcast.
That's right. And the greatest touchdown dance in the history of mankind.
It was great.
The Tua train was just absolutely.
And it was very simple. It only took 5 minutes to put together. Sometimes the most brilliant things come together very quickly.
So now you're coming to see the light that I wasn't really a homer of Tua. I just had better vision of Tua than most of you.
I mean, listen, The Athletic surveyed, I don't know what it was, 250 executives, scouts, and coaches, and they didn't think that this was coming. So you're the guy. You're the only one. It's you.
I know.
All right. So
hey,
now
I'm the only guy. I'm the only guy that wrote an article in The Athletic, said it on Sirius, and said it on QAM. Fire Tannenbaum, fire Gase, and put Greer in place. I'm the only guy that said that. And so
you were also on to the fact that Flores might get fired. So listen, sometimes you talk over me. You're a little bit loud, but you do have a tendency to get some things right.
I'm Cuban. I get a shitload of things right. Whether you want to admit it or anybody else wants to admit it.
Now listen,
I get a fuck ton of shit right. Okay.
Now what about this? All right.
Not some. I get a ton right. That's all, and I can brag about it because it happens.
Now listen. Tua Tagovailoa has been excellent. He's the MVP leader. We love him. Nothing negative here. I just want to ask you your opinion on this.
You're on it. You're on the train all the way.
Yeah. Listen, if he stays healthy. Now, here's the thing.
Of course, that's it.
Now, what's the difference between this year and last year? Because through 3 games, his attempts, completions, touchdowns, and interceptions are identical, and the team record is identical. It's the spookiest thing. It's completely identical. Attempts, completions, touchdowns, interceptions, team wins. So what is different? Why is this not going to come apart at the seams?
Well, because of the injuries. That's the only thing that tore them apart last year. And this year, they're actually better depth-wise and talent-wise. So it's all down to the injuries. Once again, you can't compete if your starting quarterback is out and your entire secondary is dead. And you're missing a couple of your linemen also, which then you have backups in there. And now all your linemen, they're all in the second year of this thing.
all the receivers that Tyreek even admitted he didn't know the entire playbook that well. Now he knows it inside and out. The quarterback knows it inside and out. He admitted in the first year, because the truth is most players in the history of the NFL don't know their playbook in the first year. It's just that Tua is sometimes honest to a fault. And then he says some things that actually educate everybody else about what's really going on, but they spin it into some kind of a negative type of thing. So to me, the difference is everybody now is in the same system for 2 years in a row. By the way, you'll see the defense next year for Fangio.
Wow. We can't wait for that. But listen, interesting point you make. The one offensive lineman who's not in the second year of the system is Isaiah Wynn, the left guard from New England, who obviously the Dolphins were right. He's a guard, not a tackle. Okay. He's allowed no pressures through 3 games. All right. I spoke to him about the scheme. Now, this does not take away from the talent. They have both. They have talent and scheme. All right. So he said that he loves the scheme because it keeps the defense on its heels with misdirection. They can never go towards the quarterback. They're constantly guessing and trying to figure out where to move side to side. And he's a smart guy, this Isaiah Wynn. I like him. I enjoy talking to him. He said that McDaniel's offense is like a jigsaw puzzle, and that McDaniel just every week adds pieces and the puzzle gets bigger and bigger. I like that, the way he set that up, because McDaniel always talks about how trying to come up with a game plan and calling the right plays each week is like solving a puzzle. So these guys are all on the same page. And I just thought that was a beautiful analogy from Isaiah Wynn, who's been excellent. Isaiah Wynn, Robert Hunt, and Connor Williams, and I know this a few bad snaps, but other than that, the guy's a monster. All right. Yeah. Has been as good as the interior 3 of any offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah. No, it's and again, we have to give McDaniel, Frank Smith credit, and McDaniel again, because he brings
the O-line coach
in, and the fact that Butch Berry, along with those 2 guys, they've been able to get all of these guys to perform. And we can't forget that they picked up a Brandon Shell off the street and then Robert Jones off the bench, and they got them to do a serviceable job last year just to kind of stay afloat.
And it was Frank Smith. So Butch Barry is doing, I talked to the lineman, he's using the same coaching points as Frank Smith. Matt Applebaum, good college line coach, but didn't have the experience with the coaching points. And in this offense, for years, we watched Jesse Davis, nicest guy in the world, trying to block monster defensive linemen one-on-one and just survive. And the great thing about this line scheme is they attack a point. They don't care about just trying to survive the attack of one guy. They're on the attack.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's really, and part of a coach's job. It's one of the things that I complained about throughout the Flo tenure was that the play design was never there. It just was terrible. It doesn't help the players. And that's your job as a coach. You have to know what your talent is, and then you have to then design the play to help them actually succeed. It's not just, hey, let's run the ball between the left guard and the right tackle. Everybody block. Let's go. And just break huddle. Let's go. No, dude, there has to be a method to the madness. And that's what I love about this guy. That's why it's so much different than the crap we saw under Flo.
And it's no mistake that the Dolphins and Niners are 2 of the 3 undefeated teams running the same scheme. Yeah. Okay. Brock Purdy, all right, looks real good. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's the only reason Tua looks real good. Tua is better than Brock Purdy.
Oh, God.
Tua has more natural talent, ability, accuracy than Brock Purdy, but the offense is helping, and that's why many people are now picking Miami and San Francisco to have a rematch in the Super Bowl. I remember I was wow. What year was that, bro?
What year or what?
I was born in 70. I was born in 74. So what was the Marino Super Bowl? Was it 85?
85. Yeah, 85. Yeah.
So I was 11. That's the same age as my daughter. So that was a long time ago, man. We got to appreciate this. This is a long time coming.
Trust me, I appreciate it. Trust me, I definitely appreciate it. I already got my Airbnb in Vegas again, so we're set for Super Bowl week if it happens.
It's $1,500 a night at the Bellagio. That's a little pricey.
Yeah, no,
I don't think I could go. I don't think I can go Bellagio.
No, bro, Airbnb is the way I go. That's the best way to go.
But how far away from the stadium, or how far away from the strip?
Literally, my pad that I got, I'm about 8 minutes away from the strip, so I'm not far from. So I got it. But I got my pad ahead of time. So if you want to wait till you find out that they're actually going, oh my God, your Airbnb is gonna be 100 miles away at that point. You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna take that chance. Last year I didn't take the chance, but they got all the injuries this year. And this year, this is what I love, Joe. Tua's playing like Marino. It's what I talked about last year 100 times over. Marino never held down to the ball, bro. I watched him his entire career. It's a snap. It's a decision as quick as possible and get rid of it. And if there wasn't anything there in 2 seconds, brother, by the third second, that ball was already in the third row. He didn't waste any time. And that's what I love about what he's doing. He is not wasting any time. He is making a quick decision. He's thrown the ball away. He's thrown it to the floor. He's slid. He's playing smart.
You're right. But there's going to be a cheap shot or two coming. It's coming. Matt Milano in that Bills game that started the whole thing with the concussions.
Sure.
Shoved him late.
But don't bring it on yourself. Bring it on yourself. That play with Matt Milano, it was still past 3 seconds. That was 3.85 seconds. It was still too long that he held on to the ball.
And if he gets shoved backwards, I think he's got a better chance now to tumble. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, no, I agree. Dude, I took judo. So when all this thing started, I know all about it. Because in judo, they spend time in just teaching you how to fall. You literally will spend half your class working on falling sometimes. And you're like, what the hell, bro? What the hell? And then when it happens, you notice that it comes in natural and you're like, oh, okay, this is cool. Okay, I broke.
Let me ask you this. If Milano shoves Tua down to the ground backwards late after the play, which offensive lineman is most likely to slug Milano in the head? Is it Armstead? Is it Hunt? Is it Wynn?
Hunt.
Hunt is the nicest guy. He's a big teddy bear, but he is a freaking monster. He turns into a different dude. By the way, this is very random, but I went to the Sawgrass Mills Mall yesterday with my daughter to get her a birthday present. We ran into Andrew Van Ginkel and his family. Couldn't have been nicer. My daughter was fascinated with I had to show her the video clips. She's like, that guy that we just met is the guy that does that to the quarterback? She couldn't believe it was the same guy. Couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah.
A lot of good guys in that Dolphins locker room.
Yeah. And I'm happy for Andrew Van Ginkel because, again, you got to a flower needs water to grow. A dog needs love to grow. Your child needs love and support in order to grow. You see it happening with Tua and Mike McDaniel. There was never – that they didn't give Andrew Van Ginkel enough love in prior coaches. And I like now that this guy has really looked at Andrew Van Ginkel and said, this dude's a playmaker. I need to get him on the field because somehow or another, he has a knack of being around some kind of a play or the ball. And I'm glad that somebody has actually noticed that because.
And on a team with Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb and Emmanuel Ogbah, guess who leads the Dolphins in pass rush win rate? It's Andrew Van Ginkel, the guy from a little school, right? He started off in what do they call that? JUCO. He went through the JUCO route. He's from Iowa. They brought him back. They said, he was going to play just special teams. He's a demon, man. I love it.
Matthews, bro. He looks like Matthews right now. You know what I'm saying?
With the hair. They both got the hair going, that's for sure.
And they play the werewolf type of game. It is the same kind of game.
He's relentless. He's relentless.
I'm saying he's Clay Matthews. All I'm saying is I'm seeing characteristics of Clay Matthews, the way he plays out there with his hair on fire.
Okay, because that's how he plays. It's the same exact game. Oh, what did you see from Eichenberg? Because I thought he did a pretty good job. A couple, high snaps, which Connor does the same thing. Which, by the way, I think Tua's gotten really damn good at grabbing the higher ball and then doing whatever he has to do. He's gotten pretty good at that.
Yeah, Eichenberg played more than I realized because I was writing a column, so I didn't really realize how long he was in there. And it seemed okay. Maybe the Dolphins have something here with him as a backup center. Obviously, Connor Williams is day to day, and the Dolphins are hoping he's just fine for that huge game on Sunday at Buffalo. 74 degrees and sunny. I personally like having the Buffalo game in September there, and then the Bills come here later in the season. I like it that way, but I know some of the fans think it's an advantage to have the hot weather and the Bills coming here. So can't wait for Sunday. I know you're going to ask me for a prediction, and I haven't really formulated one yet. I need to come up with a reason. I'm going to pick the Dolphins unless I can find some reason not to. Some really great reason not to.
You should.
Yeah. So as of now, I'm picking the Dolphins to win.
Right now, I think the Dolphins are the better team, and I think the Dolphins have the better passer. Okay? Didn't say quarterback, passer. And so I think that's what's going to make the difference. What I was talking about before you came on, I think the key for the Dolphins, stop the run. And what I mean by that is not just a running game, but Josh Allen. You cannot make him
maybe a spy. Maybe a spy because this defense gives up rushing yards. So let's see, who's a good spy? Channing Tindall, David Long, Jerome Baker. They're all athletic. So the Dolphins are well positioned with athletic linebackers.
How about Van Ginkel is the guy that maybe I would because Van Ginkel will have a little bit more meat on the bone than Baker, and I think he would hit a little harder than Baker. But do you agree? See, if I'm the Dolphins, I want to force Josh Allen to beat me with his arm because his arm is not consistent. It'll get erratic. It'll make mistakes. He will make mistakes. But if you allow him to get his legs in the offense, then it just becomes a real monster and a real difficult challenge for you. So for me, make them one-dimensional. Force them to pass. I don't believe their receiving core is that good. I believe outside of their top receiver, everybody else is very coverable, and you can take care of them. So it's either their number one receiver and their tight ends is what they're going to attack you. But you cannot allow Josh Allen's legs to be a factor in this game.
And Javon Holland studies the film to see which opposing players are vulnerable to the fumble. It won't take a lot of film research to figure out which Bills offensive player fumbles.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's he obviously was smart enough and knew that Sutton had a way of holding the ball that was accessible to it, and he took advantage of it. And boy, Sutton on the sidelines was one frustrated hombre, I'll tell you that. Talk to me about the running game and the holes. You do the
tape don't lie. Yeah.
Tape don't lie segment. So talk to me a little bit about what you saw from the offensive line, because these are monster holes that are being opened.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Grier has done a nice job of adding athletic offensive linemen. Connor Williams is very athletic for a center. Austin Jackson is very athletic for a tackle. Teron Armstead looked great. Robert Hunt is a future Pro Bowler, at least he should be. So we have a lot of players who are popping up on the screen well downfield. And that's something that you just didn't see. You saw for years Dolphins offensive linemen being pushed back into the backfield, and now you see them 15 yards downfield. Very impressive. It's just, man. And there's no reason to trade for a running back now. No reason. They're fine.
There wasn't ever a reason to trade for it, bro. And now they'll trade for anybody, but if you want to give them low-hanging fruit, they'll do it. That's the only way they were going to do it. That's the craziness of all this stuff. Everybody is thinking like they desperately need it. No, dude, they're looking for low-hanging fruit. And this week, they were with their number 1, number 4, and number 5 backs because their 2 and 3 were injured. So it shows you even the third kid, Chris Brooks, he had 66 yards on 9 carries, dude. I mean,
he's a big kid. I like him as a developmental prospect for sure. Hey, soon Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins players are going to be made available to us in the media. So look for our content on the Palm Beach Post website. Please subscribe. Right now, you can get $1 for 6 months, which will carry you through, let's see, was it October, November, December, January, Super Bowl. There you go. Sign up now. Miami Dolphins Super Bowl special on the Palm Beach Post.
There you go. And follow him on Twitter at Shad Joe. Joe, as always, thank you. We will catch up later next week, my friend. You be good.
Thanks, bud. All right, take care.
There you go, the great Joe Shad. Mr. Shtick, Essential Moving Experts, Miami Dolphins Exchange, and call my guy Sean Williams, because Sean and company, they know how to get it done, folks. Anywhere in the country, if you need to move your business, your home, they can even store your goods for up to a month on the house. Now, if you need it longer because the new building where you're moving the business to or your home is not ready yet, then you can negotiate a longer stay for your stuff. But if you need to move it from within a city, within a county, from state to state, it doesn't matter. Their home base is in Daytona, but they service the entire country. In fact, Marcel Louis-Jacques just used this service to move from Day to Broward County. So you can do it too. Essential Moving Experts. Give them a ring, 386-213-4054. Flat rates, by the way. No surprise charges, because that's what Marcel, he called around and then called Essential. I go, hey, dude, go ahead, call around, get a couple prices, and then call Essential Moving Experts, right? The problem is when you call around, you know what they do? They give you a ballpark figure. Well, it could be 1,100 up to 1,700. Huh? You mean you can't give me a flat rate? No, we can't do that. Essential Moving Experts gives you a flat rate. So you don't have to deal with that silliness. Oh, well, it could be 2,000, could be 3,000. What do you mean? Well, it all depends, this, that. No. Flat rate, no surprise charges. You call EssentialMovingExperts.com.
You've been listening to the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Joe Shad. When you're looking for local, home, long moving services or office relocation, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Call 305-602-8369. Miami Dolphins fans, follow Big O Radio Show on all platforms to keep up with your favorite NFL team.
All right. There he is, Welton Rayom. Yes, sir. Listen, if something happened to you, some kind of bankruptcy, condo damage, water damage, the condo next to you has a water pipe break and it went into your house and it damaged your walls or anything like that, you call Welton Rayom, folks. Personal injury, commercial litigation. Maybe something happened to you 5 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, and you're like, man, did I have a case? Because you know what? I don't feel good. I hurt myself or this damage later on, and you're kind of, maybe you're questioning yourself going, man, I should have looked into it because, this situation really hurt me. Call Welton Rayom. The consultation is free. Ask for Jeff Welt. Tell him that Big O sent you and explain what your case is, and he'll tell you if you have a case or not. Free consultation, 954-966-4646 for Welt and Rayom. So make sure you call them. Appreciate you all out there. What else do we have here? I want to see Milano get what he deserves this Sunday. Yeah, what I'd like to see is make sure you keep his ass in check. Okay. Put a body on him. So, let's see. What else do we have? What do we have here? I need to grab that hat. I have a dozen of that hat in alco, but none in orange. Yep. I have the aqua ones too. I have a white one, but I didn't have an orange one. So I said I had to get it, bro. When I saw it at Caneswear, I had to get it. There's no way. And by the way, go to caneswear.com. Nick Wright is a guy's name. That's it. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that was just a stupid take. He's running with that narrative because as a Chiefs fan, he's afraid of the Dolphins offense. Oh, he's a Chiefs fan? I see. Well, we'll talk to a Chiefs fan in 2 minutes. It's Nick Wright on First Things First show. Sorry, Joe. Big O had it first. Oh. All you can say, well, that's a fair comment. Yeah, you're damn right it's fair. What's unfair is how you treated me. That's what's unfair. But that's all right. You should have seen it last year. When I'm going at it with Beasley and I say, Tua in my eyes is Joe Montana. That's how he looks to me. He's going to be that kind of player. And brother, that media room, I could sense it. I could feel it. You know, it's one of those things, you know, when you say something and there's that kind of quiet, like buzz type that you feel like, what the hell is that guy saying? You know? That's funny. Do you think Jeff Wilson slots back to RB2 when he returns? No, I don't. Nick Alzagari. An Alzagari in the house. We got 2 Alzagaris in the house. No, I don't think so. I think they'll continue to rotate them all. Now, Jeff Wilson no longer is RB2. No, you can't because Achane, right? Now I'm getting it's Achane. Achane is too explosive, too dynamic. You know what I mean? Salvon Ahmed brings something to the table. Chris Brooks brings something to the table. I think back number 2 is like receiver number 3 for the Miami Dolphins. Depends on what you need. And then you'll use it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this week you were backs 1, 4, and 5. 2 and 3 were injured. No problem. You know? Big O, sorry if it's been mentioned. R.I.P. Brooks Robinson, one of the greatest third basemen of all time for the Orioles. Brett, I saw it. He passed away at the age of 88 years old. He had like 15 gold gloves. I grew up with Brooks Robinson, and in this town, Brooks Robinson meant a little bit more than in any other town except, of course, Baltimore. And why do I say that? Why do I say that, old folks out there with me? Because the Baltimore Orioles spring training home was Miami Baseball Stadium, Bobby Maduro. And the Orioles were always here. So the Orioles were kind of growing up in South Florida. Okay, let me explain something to you youngins out there, because this is how it was in the 60s and the 70s. Okay, when you're up in South Florida, it's everybody is a Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Reds, and Orioles fan. That's what I grew up with in the 60s and the 70s. Okay, they were those 5 teams. And that's the reason why I stayed away from those 5 teams. And I went with the Phillies. I was always the guy that, like, you like the Phillies? Because everybody was a big Red Machine or Yankees or Red Sox or Dodgers. It was, and then the Orioles were here in our home. So Brooks Robinson, when I was a kid, obviously everybody would gravitate to go see all the great players from Palmer to Brooks Robinson to Belanger, anything, whatever was there with the Orioles back in those days, Flanagan, all those guys, right? And the great Yankee teams, man. I used, as a kid in the 70s, think about this. I would go see the Reggie Jacksons and the Rivers and the Thurman Munsons and all that stuff. You know, that was my spring training, because my dad and I would go right as before spring training started. The tickets would go on sale, and we'd make the line, and we'd buy all the Orioles-Yankees games. And then when the Phillies would come, the Orioles-Phillies games, because I wanted to go see my guy Mike Schmidt, right? And so back in the day, growing up here, Brooks Robinson was a thing. And his glove was second to none, okay? My guy Mike Schmidt won, I think, 11 gold gloves, if I remember. My guy is known for batting, but people don't know enough about his glove, actually. But Brooks Robinson was the ultimate glove at that corner. You know what I mean? So when I was growing up, that was the gold standard of defense, right there. Craig Nettles was another guy back in the day too. But, rest in peace. I saw the news and immediately I thought about my childhood and thought about, seeing Brooks Robinson and all the great Oriole teams because we were the hometown for the Oriole spring training. Those were the days, man. Those were interesting times. Fun times to grow up, man. Fun times. All right, let's get ready. Hour number 2. Let's go. Yeah, baby. Ho. It is time. Although we got to make sure in this segment now that we walk the right line, because if not, the Swifties may come after us. Matt Verderam starts it off. Hour number 2 of the Big O radio show. Next.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O radio show is on. Here's the Big O.
Number 2, there he is, ready to rock and roll, Matt Verderam. So let me get this straight. 400% spike in Travis Kelce jersey sales. Kelce's podcast is now number 1 overall on Apple. Kelce adds 383,000 followers to his Instagram page. 24.3 million viewers watched it as the number 1 game this week. 63% jump in female viewers age 18 to 49. 3 times increase in Chiefs searches on the web. 3 times increases in Chiefs sales on StubHub. Chiefs sold more tickets in a single day since the start of the season. We should all pick up a Swiftie, bro. What the hell is going on, bro? Damn.
Yeah. They've now become more than just a football team. They've jumped into pop culture in a way that I never thought I'd see in my life. I mean, I think they're probably now the closest thing in terms of like just their popularity to, like, I don't know, the Jordan Bulls.
By the way, we're talking about the most straight arrow professional football family in the history of the NFL. A team that is not like about Jerry Jones or, you know, I don't know, marketing, any of these teams that you could think of that love to market crazy or whatever. This is a team that has always taken a very professional and conservative approach. And boy, they are being thrusted into modern day social media power, dude.
It's only going to get, for people who hate them, it's only going to get worse because they play on Sunday Night Football this week, and the game's in New York. And I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift's probably going to be there for that game. She lives there. And so they're going to be on primetime playing Zach Wilson and the Jets. And there's a real chance that game's 30-0 in the third quarter. And so, they're going to have nothing to do but talk about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And obviously I sat there and watched them just dismantle Chicago, which was not really a surprise. But again, during that game, I mean, the Fox broadcast, every time the Chiefs did something good, let's pan up to Taylor Swift. And what I don't blame the Fox team. Like, what else is there to do?
Oh, yeah. It's going to help your ratings. It's going to help your ratings.
So it's a circus. I will tell you this on a personal note because it's, I think, funny. My daughter actually turned 6 today, and she is a big Taylor Swift fan. She's also a Chiefs fan. And so when she found out that Travis Kelce was dating Taylor Swift, her worlds collided. It was funny to watch. She was like, I've got to watch every moment of the Chiefs now because I got to see if she's on television.
Oh, yeah.
So
no, it's a two-edged sword. He better not hurt her.
Well, of course.
Okay? If he breaks her heart, okay, I'm not even hurting like I'm not saying physical. That's not.
No, of course, right. If he breaks up with her or something, yeah.
Oh my God, the Swifties are going to come after his ass.
Oh,
bro.
absolutely.
It's kind of
if
fire.
If NBC is smart, they have him back on Saturday Night Live as a host, and then she's the musical guest, because that might actually break television. I mean, we're to a point now. It's crazy with them. Like, you watch a game, they go to commercial. Mahomes is repping State Farm. Then they go to a Kelce commercial. He's repping Bud Light. Then they go to Mahomes. He's repping Subway. Then they go to Kelce. He's repping Pfizer, which that was I was shocked in the sense that that must have broken a lot of people's brains for a variety of reasons. Then he's repping Lowe's, and then they come back to the game and Mahomes throws him a touchdown pass. I mean, it is probably oversaturation for a lot of people, and I get it. But yeah, they're really living it up. They're enjoying it, man, for sure.
That's marketing, bro. That's just the
sure
way it is. You got to milk it while you can. By the way, speaking of disasters that you were watching, the Chicago Bears, the Justin Fields stuff. I know he threw his coaches under the bus, and then obviously stuff came out that, yo, dude, look at you. This guy's open, that guy's open. You're not hitting anybody. So the regression is real, but it's kind of still it's a mess that's contributed by all, right? It's while Fields is taking a step back, that whole situation is also just completely dysfunctional, correct?
Yes. And you know as well as I do. Like, when you're that bad in professional sports, that's a team effort. That is everybody. I mean, that doesn't just happen because one guy is not playing well or two guys aren't playing well. I mean, here's the other part of this. Okay. Now, Fields has played the totality of the 3 games. They have been handled in all 3 of these games, specifically, of course, last week. But the Packers blew them out. The Bucs were comfortably ahead throughout. He has thrown 88 passes in 3 games. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? In the Chiefs game, they were down 41-0 midway through the third quarter. He didn't throw for 100 yards. I mean, those are the types of games that typically, like, the team that gets blown out, there's just 200 garbage time yards at the end of the game because the other team doesn't care and they're playing back and they'll trade time for points. How do you throw for 99 yards? That's nuts. And so, and how are you throwing less than 30 times a game when you're constantly losing? Like, what is the play calling? What is happening? I mean, it was a bizarre game. It was a game where it felt like guys weren't really engaged. And then you also look around. I mean, listen, Chase Claypool is supposed to be this big guy for them. He has 4 catches on 14 targets this year. That's brutal. DJ Moore has 170 yards, which is okay, but it's not great. They signed Cole Kmet to this big deal in the offseason. Cole Kmet has 100 yards receiving. I mean, at some point, I had somebody ask me yesterday on a radio spot, do you think the Fields leash is short? I was like, no, I think Eberflus's leash is short. I think Getsy's leash is short. I mean, what are they going to do? Bench Fields for Nathan Peterman? You got to be a kid all year long. You have to. Like, what other choice do you have? Right? So it's a disaster. It's a mess. And now they get to play the Broncos, who you guys all watch, give up 70 points last weekend in one of the more ridiculous. I got to tell you,
Karma, baby. Karma's a beautiful thing. Karma's
I usually watch all the Sunday games, live as many as I can, and then I go back and I watch the film of the games that I didn't see the following day. I actually sat up after the Sunday Night Football game and turned on the Dolphins game because I just had to see how they scored 70 points. And I got to tell you, that was a combination of some of the best offensive play I've ever seen and some of the absolute most piss-poor effort defensively I've ever seen in my life. I mean, guys, just business decisions from the second the game started. It's week 3. It's week 3. You got guys like, yeah, I'm not going to try to make that tackle. Like, all right, this is going to go well.
Yep. Some Champagne, after talking all that shit, he may end up doing a worse job than the last guy that was there. And by the way, the last guy that was there is friends with Mike McDaniel.
He is. It's true.
And that whole thing about the record of the 3 points, it's actually more impressive and more intimidating that you didn't do it and you could have done it. And that's the worst part, that if they felt like putting an 80 burger on your ass, they could have put an 80 burger on your ass. They just took everybody out in the third quarter and their backup still scored on you. But if they felt like putting even more, that's why I tell people, because we actually had people that were mad at McDaniel for not going for the record. It's like, who gives a shit about the record, bro? You won, you dominated, you're a much better team than you've been in fucking 25 years. Chill out, bro. Relax. Shut the hell up already. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you could have done it,
sure,
I think actually sends a much better message than anything else.
So every week at SI, I do this piece where I break down three plays of the week on film. And it can be whatever. It can be a touchdown, it can be a sack, it can be something that was just kind of caught in my eye and I thought was impactful. And the second play that I profiled this week, and the piece just came out this morning, so you can check it out on sportsillustrated.com. I also tweeted it, was the first touchdown of the game for Miami, which, as it turns out, was one of 10. And it is one of the most egregious defensive plays you'll ever find. I mean, the Broncos are they're supposed to be in this quarters coverage defense. And the Dolphins run a 2-man route. It's just a deep crisscross by Robbie Chosen and Tyreek Hill. And Surtain carries Chosen like he's supposed to let him go to the safety once he gets out of his zone. Just keeps running with him. Both guys, now they've double teamed Chosen for reasons nobody can understand. And Tyreek Hill, all 4 guys just let Tyreek Hill go. And Kareem Jackson is so deep. If anybody out there ever watches the All-22 film, they'll know what I'm talking about. The All-22 film typically covers about 60 yards at his shot. Kareem Jackson has bailed so far, he's actually out of the picture. You can't even see, like you're counting 10 Broncos on the screen. And then all of a sudden, Kareem Jackson appears like the 5-yard line trying to make the tackle all the way across the field. There's nobody there. Like there's literally a space on the field where there's Tyreek Hill at the catch point. There's nobody within 30 yards of Tyreek Hill in any general direction. I mean, it only got worse from there for Denver. So the Broncos are a complete embarrassment. The Dolphins offensively are, I think it's safe to say, they're the fastest football team I think I've ever seen in terms of just pure, unadulterated. Here comes, Achane and Mostert and Hill and Waddle didn't play last week. I mean, they can fly in a way that most teams can't. So what's going to happen now is teams are just going to back up because they have to. I mean, that's what's going to happen. And it's going to become, you have to execute the red zone. If you execute in the red zone, you're going to score 30 points plus.
Well, no, but the difference is they can run the ball now. So if you want to do what New England did, go ahead, baby.
That's what teams are going to do. And they're going to allow them to get 400 yards. Believe me, as someone who grew up watching the Chiefs, that's what's going to happen. Okay,
right.
Teams are going to say, we're not getting beat over the top. We're going to sit back and we're going to let you run the ball. We're going to let you go underneath. We're going to let you do all that stuff. And Tua's going to complete 70% of his throws. And it's all going to become about the red zone because let's face it, if you're a defense, that's a better bet than sitting there trying to play, heads up with them all game long, right?
Yeah, but that's not the quarterback or the receivers you want to play a red zone game with. That's the problem there.
That's what teams are going to do.
You're going to eventually. Let me rephrase that. That's not the quarterback. That's not the receivers, and that's not the fucking play designer you want to screw around with. Okay, because the play design here right now is at another level that I've never seen.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
It might be the best in the NFL right now.
It might be. Very well might be. Right there with San Francisco and teams, and obviously, of course,
I always put Reed first, then everybody else, because he's been doing it longer than everybody.
Well,
else.
Sure, he's a genius offensively, but McDaniel and Shanahan. I mean, obviously the influence from Shanahan and everything else. I mean, you can see it. I would say too. Look, this is going to be one of these things where you're eventually going to get some team that says, we're going to try to just play man with safety help over the top, because I will say this, and again, I mean, I watched Tyreek Hill every play of his career early on. There's no good way to defend Tyreek Hill, okay?
And especially if you've got motion all the time now. Are you kidding me?
You can't jam him, and believe me, there's no good way to defend Tyreek Hill. I think the teams that have moderate success against not just Hill, but in general against top-tier targets, top-tier weapons, are the teams that aren't scared to death all the time and say, look, we got to play some man. We got to try to, help with a safety, but we're going to be somewhat aggressive in the coverage calls, because at least it forces a team to make a play. Whereas these teams that just play these soft zones, you're just dead. You're dead on arrival, because they're just going to run through these zones, and Tua is accurate and he's going to hit these guys in stride. And you're not moving. Like when you're playing man-to-man defense, you have to run with the guy. When you're playing zone, you're not running. You're stationary, essentially. You're backing. So when they catch these balls in stride, I mean, it's just a track meet down the field, right? I think that's where, look, I don't think anybody's going to stop them, but I think that's going to be I think you're going to have teams either do that, or you're going to have teams do what Belichick did, which is just back up and play 4 guys deep and just say, all right, we'll meet you at the 20-yard line and hope for the best. But if you're the Dolphins, you're thrilled to death, because that's where you want to be. You want to get 400 free yards every game. And, they've certainly answered every call the first 3 weeks. They've been awesome.
Your thoughts on Tua, man?
He's been fantastic. Listen, I think, early on in his career, it was a bad situation. Then he got with Mike McDaniel. It became a good situation. Now they have all this talent around them. It's a great situation. And I don't understand the people who say, well, it's because he has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Okay, well, I mean, look around the league. Jalen Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. And Mahomes has Kelsey, and for most of his career had Tyreek Hill. And Josh Allen has Stephon Diggs, and for a lot of his career, he's had other guys, whether it be Gabe Davis or Dawson Knox, whatever. Like
the talent that it takes to have the accuracy, the precision, the consistency, the balls to throw into spots at a time. They're all not clear windows, actually. He throws in between 2 and 3 guys all the time. He makes throws that very few people in the NFL can make. And he's doing it all within like 2 seconds, 2.5. He gets rid of it. He's getting rid of it faster than everybody, and he's throwing it farther than everybody. That doesn't make sense.
No, and that's where the speed comes in, right? I mean, you can chuck that ball and put a little air under it, and if you're accurate, the guy's going to run underneath it. And that's where I think Tua gets misconstrued, is he doesn't have that, I'm going to throw the ball through a car wash and not get it wet arm, right? And that's fine. He doesn't have to. Because he's so accurate with it that it doesn't make any damn difference. He puts the ball where Joe Montana did not have an enormous arm. Joe Montana didn't have John Elway's arm, okay? He didn't have Dan Marino's arm. But Joe Montana could put the ball 50 yards on a dime to Jerry Rice. Well, who cares? If he threw it on a line or he put a little air under it, it got there. Tua has been fantastic. And
now, by the way, I've been saying that for 2 years. Now they're stealing my Montana Tua line, by the way. They've been stealing my Montana Tua line now. Boomer Esiason stealing my Montana Tua line. 2 years ago, I said, give him talent. He's a star. He plays like Montana. And now everybody's seeing exactly the anticipatory, the ball placement, and the accuracy. Yeah. That's what makes a quarterback. You can be 6'6".
Of course it does.
You can run like a deer. You can throw it out of the stadium. Brother, if you don't have those other traits I talked about, along with intelligence,
you ain't ever going to be a great quarterback, ever.
No question. Look, I mean, nobody had a bigger arm when I was growing up than Jeff George. Jeff George stunk. Right. I mean, you're right. You have to be able to anticipate. You have to be able to be accurate and place the ball you need to. And look, right now, the Dolphins are sitting at 3-0, and the offense has just lit everybody up. I mean, New England held them to 24, but they moved the ball the entire game. You feel great. I mean, now they go into this game against Buffalo. That is a fascinating game because Buffalo's defense has played really well, and of course, they know each other so well. So that's going to be interesting. But I'll be very interested to see how Buffalo tries to play him because Buffalo does not have the corners to play the Dolphins. I mean, the Bills just do not. Tre'Davious White is a good player, but he's not the great player he once was. Kyer Elam has been to this point a massive bust. I mean, he's not even active for these games. So it's Dane Jackson and Teron Johnson and Christian Benford. And it's not the worst group in the league, but it's not a group that you're looking at going, well, they're just going to be able to match up. I mean, this is going to be.
They get Waddle this week. They get Waddle this week.
Right. I mean, so it's going to be, if you're the Bills, now the Bills are a heavy zone team. Typically, they're not a heavy blitz team. So I think what you're going to see is a lot of zone, a lot of 7-man drops, which of course McDaniel knows that. Right. So here's the other thing. And you and I mean, we've been on now for over a year. We talked about this. The last time the Bills played the Dolphins with Tua, not the playoff game, that snow game in the regular season, the Saturday night game. I remember you and I talking after that game saying if the Dolphins had run the ball more in that game, they would have won. There were so many times, 3rd and shorts, 1st and goals, and they kept throwing and throwing. I wonder in this game if McDaniel says, you know what? We're going to run the ball down your throat 35 times in this game. This is going to be an Achane game, a Mostert game. Because that game that night, I remember sitting there saying, if they ran the ball when they should, they would have run 250 yards in this game, no problem. And they piddled the game away. And McDaniel after the game, if I remember, I basically said we should have run the ball more. I'm curious in this game if he goes, you know what? I'm gonna run the ball. And then when they eventually have to start to come up a little bit, then it becomes, all right, hit him over the top with the big one.
One of the reasons why I love talking football with you, because you know your shit. But the other thing is you think along the lines like I do a lot, which might be scary for you, by the way. But overall, you nailed it because that's what I'm looking at this game. There's going to be a lot of running by the Dolphins. Why? Yes. They want to keep Josh Allen off the field. Mm-hmm. And then what you want to do is you're the one that has the precision passer, not them. So what you want to do is limit possessions for both teams. Because if you run the ball and maintain possession, you're not going to have nearly as many, and neither are they. But
you can out-execute them.
Precision passing game is better than theirs, you will end up victorious because they have more of a tendency of making mistakes. They have less weapons than you right now, and their offense isn't as good as yours right now. So if you're the Dolphins, work more on a controlled game where you also have to count on the arm to be precise and accurate. And I think you end up on top because I'm not saying he's the better quarterback. I'm just saying in this game, the Dolphins have the better passer. So take advantage of it.
Well, and by the way, it's a weird thing because you look at the Bills and to their credit, they've been very good defensively this year. I mean, the Jets game they lost had nothing to do with their defense. Their offense turned the ball over 4 times. Then they shut down the Raiders, shut down the Commanders. These are obviously 2 teams that are very limited offensively. Okay. But here's what I find interesting. They've not given up a lot of points. They're 19th in the league defensively in yards per play against. They have not been this play-by-play team that you look at and you go, oh, my God, they've been great. Now, Miami is a team that defensively, everybody's looking like, oh, Miami. Miami's given up the same yards per play as Buffalo, 5.3 yards per play. So it's not like there's been some massive, overwhelming difference. Now, you start looking at, okay, if a team throws the ball, where do you land there? I mean, Buffalo's been very good. Buffalo's 6th in the league, yards per attempt against. But again, they've played teams with Sam Howell and Jimmy Garoppolo and Zach Wilson. Okay, what I look at is, and what I was talking about earlier about the way that they play, Buffalo is 30th in blitz rate. They do not blitz. So if you're McDaniel, you know what you're getting. Like, you know the way they're going to play. They're going to drop 7. It's a lot of zone. And I would think in this game, going to play a lot of 2 deep, right? And they're going to go, okay, here you go. Well, if you're McDaniel, if they're going to do that, as we just laid out, you should just run the ball at them. You should just say, okay, fine. If you want to play 2 deep, 20 yards off the line of scrimmage, we'll just pound the ball at you. And then eventually, I don't care who you are, you're going to start to come up. And those safeties are going to go from 20 yards to 18 yards to 16 yards. And then when they get up, then bam, over the top, gone, double move on, whoever, on Dane Jackson and out the gate, right? So, no, I cannot wait to watch the game. I'm fascinated. By the way, as a complete side note, because I'm looking at the numbers, the Vikings have blitzed 63% of their defensive snaps. That's like, oh my God. I mean, most teams that are like the number one blitz rate in the league at the end of the year are like 40, 41%. The Vikings are at 63%, and yet somehow let me just see this real quick, are 27th in pressure rate. How is that even possible?
It is. It's called Brian Flores.
It's impossible. You would think by chance you would just get home, I don't know, a quarter of those times. No. So you now understand why the Vikings can't stop a nosebleed, because they're blitzing 5-6 guys every other play, every two-thirds of the time, and getting home against nobody. So that's where they sit. But anyway, that was just.
And now you understand why Chris Greer had to flush him down the toilet, and that's why he's no longer here. By the way, if you go to Jets practice today, you will catch Robert Salah wearing a helmet. All right, tell them about what you got going on at Sports Illustrated. For those of you that don't know, apparently somebody threw a football at Robert Salah in practice. Anyway, go ahead.
Was it a starting quarterback who was trying to hit somebody on the other side of the
No,
field?
it's not that accurate. They would have never seen it at that point. It would have gone in another direction.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. Oh,
what do you got going on at Sports Illustrated?
Tomorrow, I'm covering the Packers-Lions game up at Lambeau, so I'll be up there. I'll have a reaction and a piece out of that. And then I have my quarterback rankings come out tomorrow. I think Tua might move up a little bit. So as he did, by the way, the first 2 weeks. We'll have my piece today that comes out on 3 plays of the week that you got to rewatch. That came out. I have one matchup that you need to know for every game that comes out on Friday, where I dig into details and find things that might determine these games. So those are all coming out this week. I'm working on a couple of other large pieces for down the line. But I'll have plenty of stuff. And then on Sunday, like always, I have my running column that's on the front page of SI, easy to find. And it's just reaction in real time to every one of these games. It gets updated after the early games, the late games, and Sunday Night Football. So go ahead, check that out. And you can obviously follow me on Twitter, and you'll see all my stuff there as well.
And follow him on Twitter, Matt Verderam. Matt, as always, appreciate you, brother. We'll catch up next week.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you, sir. There you go. The great Matt Verderam getting it done. Frankie Fresco, AEW, Julia Hart, and Willow Nightingale. You know what? Let me do that after Alex Winley, because I gotta give you a complete breakdown. I don't want to hurry that up, but thank you, Christopher Hudson. Thank you for the love on the super chat. The answer to who used to as a spy. Oh, Brandon Jones. I'd like to use AVG because he's bigger. Josh Allen is such a big dude. JN, thank you for the love on the super chat. Funny how other media personnel wiggle around either to avoid saying you were correct or too much ego. What's the hype from Buffalo front seven? No hype there. But yeah, it's you know why? Because to admit that somebody was right is to admit that you were wrong. And it's really hard to do that for some people, to admit they're wrong. I have no problem. I'll tell you when I'm wrong right away. But I'll tell you when I'm right too. Pat in Nashville, I cannot wait until Kelsey breaks Swift's heart. Swifties will burn down Arrowhead. They probably will. They'll burn it down faster than Lisa Left Eye Lopez burned down Andre Risen's house. That's for damn sure. All right, let's do it. Let's talk a little football because we got a cup on the line tonight in Fort Lauderdale at Drive Pink Stadium. Inter Miami CF. The Herons are hosting the Houston Dynamo. Alex Winley will be there covering, like she does every single day, covering Inter Miami and ready to give us a little insight on the match today. First of all, Alex, I apologize. My brain is fried. I got my 10:30s, 11:30s mixed. So thank you. Very classy of you to accommodate us. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
And I know Joe has the locker room stuff now and all that. So that was huge. See, I can't bother you tonight. Tonight you'll be doing all that kind of stuff, So, all right. Messi. Game time. What's your gut tell you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's going to come off the bench. Talking with Tata yesterday, he did say that Well, he didn't explicitly say it, but he did kind of insinuate that Messi was carrying an injury, a slight injury that he's been dealing with throughout his career, just like one of these hamstring scarring, recurring flare-ups that I'm sure everyone has, but we're not professional soccer players, so it doesn't, our jobs don't really depend on that. But yeah, it's just like a flare-up that he's been dealing with. I think he'll come off the bench. It's the final, and he'll want to play. And he intends on playing. And Tata even said as much. If it was a regular season game, he wouldn't play. But tonight, I think he'll come off the bench if Miami need a goal or need to see out the match and hold on to that lead that they have if they have it.
Is Alba? I know Busquets will play because there was nothing wrong with him, but Alba was also kind of limited too. So, what's the deal with Alba?
Yeah, Alba, another hamstring strain. He's been dealing with those throughout his career, so it's nothing serious. He'll probably be back before, in early October. So, yeah, he won't be playing tonight. But Noah Allen, homegrown left back, he's been doing really well. So I'm not too worried there.
Are they missing anybody else for this match tonight?
Other than the Jean Mata, Gregory, the same olds that have been injured. I know Jean Mata was back in practice. Gregory, he's close to returning, but other than that, no, it's a.
What was Gregory's setback? What was Gregory's setback?
I don't think it was a setback. I think it was him taking the actual screws out of his foot where it broke. So it's him getting up to playing speed now.
Aha, okay. I thought he was close to returning. So that process has not happened yet. Okay. All right. That's interesting. All right. Talk to me about the Dynamo. Explain to the folks out there that maybe don't watch the MLS a lot and don't know anything about the Dynamo. So when they take the pitch tonight, what is it that Inter Miami has to worry about when it comes to the Houston Dynamo?
Yeah, the Dynamo are a very good team over the last couple of games. They've had a really good turnaround under head coach Ben Olsen. They've gone on they've won five out of their last eight matches, which is great and good for them. And they've been outscoring their opponents about 16 or 17 goals to 5. And that midfield, they have Hector Herrera, and then they have this Panamanian guy Carrasquilla, who has been excellent for them. And European scouts are looking at him, and he's doing great for his national team as well. And they'll be dangerous, especially with the kind of football they play. It's the kind that Miami have had trouble with. If you watch the FC Dallas game and the Atlanta game, where they were just beat with pace and speed on the wings, which is Miami's weakness when they like to play possession-based soccer. So Houston will be tough, but they also have a very poor away record. I mentioned in my newsletter this morning, they have just 2 wins and 15 away games played this year, which is quite poor. And even their last couple of away games, they lost and they drew the teams they were playing. So I fancy Miami just purely because they're playing at home and they have that X card where obviously Messi coming off the bench if it's confirmed, which I think he'll come off the bench. So I think Miami will do well, but Houston, they won't be any slouches either.
Yeah, I love how you're even nice. How terrible they are on the road. They're quite poor.
Yeah, they are.
All right, the young guy. So if Messi comes off the bench, so then this is a Campana game early on, right? Because Campana has been absolutely fantastic. So I would imagine that he has to take the lead early on.
Yep, and Campana as well. He's been one of the better forward between him and Joseph. But I think Campana will start. Maybe Joseph will come off the bench, or maybe Tata will start them both. We don't know. But whatever, I think Leo Campana, the Ecuadorian Leo, he's in really good form. And teams like the Dynamo is where he thrives in with their back line, can, play back to goal and kind of bother their center backs. So I'm really intrigued to see how it lines up tonight. I don't know if Tata will go back to that 5-3-2 or the same old 4-3-3. So let's see. But
what would you do to counter some of their speed? What kind of a back line would you play with?
I think it'll be Toto Avilas and Kamal Miller. But Kristoff he's not as quick as Avilas, but better positionally, and he doesn't jump into the tackles as much as Thomas does, and that could be helpful, especially against the speedy front line.
Gomez, the other kid that's really aggressive too, that gets his share of yellow cards. Is it Gomez? Am I thinking right?
Diego Gomez, who he's returned from injury and had some visa issues, so he should be available sooner rather than later as well.
Yeah. All right. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to tonight. Obviously, a guy like Campana has been absolutely awesome. But you know what? I shouldn't leave out Robert Taylor. I mean, the goal he had the other day when he wrapped around the box and shot it from the right side of the box to the left side of the goal, that was an absolutely thing of beauty. Robert Taylor's the other guy that kind of, I shouldn't just say Campana. Taylor could be another one of those guys that if Messi's not on the pitch, you can count on him to step up also.
Yeah, Robert Taylor, he's better on the wings than he is at right back. So I hope he gets to start on either the left or right wing if Messi doesn't. If not, I think Facu Farias will start on the right wing and Taylor on the left. So yeah, a lot of different options that Miami can go with, but in the end, I think that they'll go with their strongest starting 11, despite the injuries to Messi and Alba.
What about Calendar's play? I mean, he has been just absolutely phenomenal. We could talk about Messi and Campana and all these guys. They're not here and especially in this U.S. Open Cup run when you didn't have a whole bunch of these people to get this far. Calendar has been the rock the entire time.
Yeah, and without Drake, I think a lot of Miami's wins they wouldn't have been wins. You know, his shot stopping has been huge, and it's the reason why Miami were able to win the Leagues Cup literally with that game save. Him scoring the penalty and him saving that penalty at the end, and he's the reason why they were able to climb the table for a playoff position. So kudos to Drake, and Miami have their franchise goalkeeper for the next however long Drake wants to stay here, really.
Yeah, man. They've already signed him to an extension. By the way, follow her on Twitter at AAW_1998. Give me a prediction. What happens today, Alex?
I think Miami get it done. They're playing at home with the sold out crowd. It's going to be there. Messi will probably be coming off the bench, so Miami will have that. I don't want to give a score prediction, but I do think Miami are hungry to win that second trophy, and they're going to, just like the FC Cincinnati game where they came back from 2 goals down, they're going to push as hard as they can and try to get that second trophy.
Okay, and one more thing, MLS playoffs. After this, with the way Messi is a little banged up, how are they just going to try to do their best? Because they really can't go all out because Messi can't go all out right now.
Right. Honestly, I think they're going to play it by ear. Tata even said as much. If it's a regular season match, he wouldn't have played Messi, or he wouldn't play Messi tonight. Or he's probably going to start off the bench. But yeah, I think I know Felipe Cardenas of the Athletics said that they'll probably shut Messi down for the rest of the regular season to see if they can try to sneak in the playoffs without him, and if they need him in the playoffs, of course he's going to play. But I do think this Miami team has a lot of depth and quality players to take them over the line. I know games, against FC Cincinnati and New York City at home will be difficult, but Miami can afford to lose and draw at least 2 more games before, they're out of playoff contention. But they need to win at least 4 of their last couple matches to get in there for sure. So we'll see. But if Miami don't need, of course they need Messi, but if they, if his services are not, I don't want to say this without being oh, they don't need Messi, but yes, they need Messi, but they have the talent to get into the playoffs as well. So they don't want to over exert Messi. That's what I'm trying to say. Mainly, they don't want to.
That would be a beautiful thing if you can rest Messi.
Yeah.
Still get in the playoffs and then have a fresh Messi for the playoffs. Then that's probably your best bet right now. That's probably the best plan right now, because what you don't want
is to create a bigger problem that then he's rehabbing all off season, and that's just not what you want.
And then you further injure him, and it's something that he's dealing with that he can't get back to his old self. And yeah, you don't want to see that. So you want a fresh Messi.
All right, tell them about the Pink Heron Press, because they've got to subscribe to that.
Yeah, Pink Heron Press, new newsletter for me, daily newsletter, something a little different than what I normally do, but I'm enjoying it. It's a daily newsletter where you get all the links and news and occasional opinions about Inter Miami. You will be super informed if you subscribe. You'll literally not miss a single Inter Miami news, transfer, what have you. So I think it's probably the best place to get all the Inter Miami news and information that you need in a convenient email, or if you follow me on Twitter through that article. So hopefully you guys can subscribe and yeah, enjoy the content.
No doubt. All right, AAW_1998. She is Alex Winley. Alex, thank you very much. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, Orlando.
You got it. There you go, Alex Winley. Looking forward to the game tonight, man. Cannot wait. 8:30. I will be on a plane watching that game. Okay, I wonder, will I be able to watch it? They got to have the TVs going, right? They got to be able to give me a shot at watching it. I don't want to have to watch it when I get to the hotel and then go on my iPad and watch it on Apple after, which I probably will have to if it's not on the damn plane. Thanks to Alex Winley, man. Appreciate it. Let's see what else. Oh, that's right. Predictions. Here we go. Frankie Fresco, AEW Wednesday. Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. Well, I would imagine that Julia Hart is the one that's going to bring it here, because Willow, well, it kind of says in her, in her name, Willow Nightingale. She's a willow. I mean, I can't trust a willow. I can trust a Julia who has heart, but I can't trust a willow in a nightingale. I mean, that doesn't sound very wrestling. Willow Nightingale. Julia Hart sounds like the kind of person that brings a little anger to the ring. So I'm going to go Julia Hart over Willow Nightingale. What do you got there, Sean? Wow, I got 2 thumbs up. Holy shit, I must have hit something there. Now I lose. Let's see. What else do we have? De Jesus says, Big O, Julian Hill going to be tight end 1 going forward. He has way more snaps than Smythe. Guess he's a better blocker. He's a better all-around player is what he is. He can block, but he's got more athleticism to the receiving. So I would not be surprised if he starts getting more of a chunk of that spot. That I'll tell you. So yeah, but in the end, I don't think that's what's going to be a deciding factor in the offense. I think it's more about the receivers and the running game and the quarterback. But I'm a big Julian Hill guy, and I like the direction that kid is going. And it adds another player to that position, which is what they needed. So David Ruiz is the X factor for tonight's game. He's played well, man. He's played well. He's come in clutch. Come on, chat. Hit that like button, says Dan B. There's 306. We got 172. Come on, let's go. Let's go. All of you can hit it right now, and we'd get over 300 right now. It'd be cool to watch that counter spin to 300 right now. There's 306. Everyone that hasn't hit the like button hits it right now. We can watch the magic go from 173 to 300 like this. Like a slot machine, at Hialeah Park, spinning. Get it spinning, baby. Dougie Fresh, Alex, she is great. Yes, she is. She does an excellent job. He also says, damn fam, Mad Dog. Oh God. Just went in on ESPN and said Miami has a horrendous home field and most people at their games like the other teams better. Well, see, the problem with Mad Dog is he's a bitter New Yorker. And I get it, dude. There's not a lot of success there. You know, we have all the success over here. They have none pretty much over there. You know, their Jets suck. The Giants don't do anything. Their hockey teams aren't doing anything. Their baseball teams are overrated and overpaid. So I understand his frustrations, you know, and I get it. New Yorkers flock to South Florida. You know, after talking all that shit, they succumb and they run from the cold and they come to South Florida. You understand? And so I get it, bro. He sees Aaron Rodgers coming to town and now that's gone awry. He sees his Giants or whatever, the other New York team, give a lot of money to a quarterback that doesn't deserve it. And so then he has to reach and start reaching for shit and all that stuff. You know, whatever, bro. It's the same shit with Mad Dog, different day. He's just kind of an old fart, bro. Really. That's what he is. He's just an old fart that has old ideas, that doesn't change with the times and all that. And he has all these old takes. And, you know, what can I tell you, dude? Old. And you don't change, but you don't have to. You don't have to because the channel's yours. You know, they pay you plenty of money. They brought you on to ESPN and all that kind of stuff. So you can keep being who you are and get away with it because they're still paying you. Doesn't mean you make any good points because you don't, you know, but it's all right. When it comes to South Florida sports, he kind of exposes himself for what he is. He's just a bitter New Yorker, dude. Nothing else. What's there to talk about? The crowd? Why don't you talk about the football team that's absolutely kicking ass? You cowardly go to the crowd to try to find something. Did you go see the crowd in LA? Because it was half Dolphins. Did you go see the crowd at the Hall of Fame? Oh, I'm sorry. You weren't there. Okay. You know, it's just, you know, stupid shit, bro. I'm going to be at a Dolphins bar in Vegas. I was at a Dolphins bar in New York City. Do you have a Jets bar in downtown Miami? No, I don't think so. You know, what can I tell you, dude? Can't help you, man. But I get the bitter old New Yorker deal, and that's what he has. It's just an old, bitter New Yorker that doesn't change the way he thinks and doesn't change with the times. That's all. That's it. He keeps ripping onto the Heat because Pat Riley left the Knicks. Just sore ass, bro. All it is some sore ass shit that you get from Mad Dog all the time, dude. You know, they don't put me on that board right there. Why? Because I'd grab Mad Dog and slice him up and leave him like a little Wiener Schnitzel. I leave him like what are those little wieners? What are they called? That's how I'd leave him right there. I'd slice his ass up and leave him in little bits and pieces all over the place.
You're talking about Vienna sausages?
That's it. I'd leave him like a little Vienna sausage. I'd leave him crying in the corner because he'd bring that shit up on me. I said, why don't you talk about the football team? It's absolutely kicking ass. You know? The crowds there are fantastic. You don't go to them. You wouldn't know. You know what I mean? But we can't help it. South Florida is what it is. We're home to people from Central and South America and the Caribbean, and we're home to people in the Northeast and the Midwest. They all come and they come to flock here and live here. I'm a true South Floridian, and I see all of you come here to live here. But why didn't you stay where you came from? You know what I'm saying? So it's our fault that people want to come here to live here. It's our fault that New Yorkers and Chicago and Boston people come to live here and they don't change teams. So that's our fault. It's stupid shit that Mad Dog and other idiots come up with. It's our fault that Colombians move here and don't want to root for the U.S. It's our fault that Brazilians come here and want to root for Brazil and not the U.S. because that's just how it is. You go to a Marlins Yankees game, you're going to see a lot of Yankee fans. Marlins Mets, you'll see a lot of Mets fans. You come to a Jamaica Haiti match, you'll see a ton of Jamaicans in Haiti. You go to Colombia, Brazil, you'll see Colombians and Brazilians loading up the stadium. It's what we are. I'm sorry. It's our fault that we're a great place to live. Sorry. I get it. We have a burden of people want to live here. So it hurts us in that sense because they're not home country or hometown fans. They keep their allegiance to everything else except the local teams. That's our fault. But if you don't understand the demographics of our town, if you don't understand culturally what goes on in our town because you don't live in our town, take it from somebody that has lived in the town the entire life and actually understands what's going on here instead of somebody from the outside that really doesn't know jack shit and is only using his twisted New Yorker, bitter New Yorker take. Because that's all it is, bro. Because everything in New York sucks. That's not our fault, bro. That's your fault, not mine. It sucks so much you leave New York and come to South Florida. That's how much New York sucks. We're not moving to New York. New York, they move to us. New Yorkers and old Cuban people, same shit. And shit is the proper adjective for it. Same ignorant shit. Everything in Cuba was the best, and everything in New York is the best. So tired of those people. So tired of their ignorance. Everything's great, and you idiots, all you do is move here. So, same bitter bullshit, same ignorant bullshit from Mad Dog. Nothing different, bro. And I'd tell him right to his face. And I brother, put me on TV with him. I'll make him this small. Okay? This small. Slice him up. I slice him up really good. Really good. Anyway, the fact that the Finns' third-string players only lost by 3 points in the playoffs against the Bills, I'm very confident our chances on Sunday. You should be. The Dolphins are the better team. Now you got to go out and prove it. That's all. Gary Gensler's getting his ass handed to him in Congress today like Denver did in Miami. They got to fire his ass, bro. They got to fire his ass. The dirty crap that's going on with Gensler and Biden and Warren and what's that other, and Yellen, those people and Gensler, the dirty crap they're pulling on us, bro, it's disgusting. It really is. What they're doing to Americans is unacceptable. That wouldn't be a match with Mad Dog. There would be no match there. He's no match for me whatsoever. Zero. His takes are so weak, I would crush all his takes. He doesn't know anything about this town, bro. Why? Because he visits it to once or twice a year or something? He doesn't know jack shit, dude. Give me a break. Anyway. Hey, Sid, the guy moved back because he got arrested and ended up leaving out of here. So I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm sure eventually he'll do some dirtbag stuff like he always does. I've heard the same exact thing so many times. New Jersey, Chicago, New York. It's all great, yet they live down here. It's the same thing. It's the same crap that goes on. They all run their mouths, and then they end up here. Let's give you the 3A Graphics Sports Calendar. We love Alan Blanco and the great people there at Hialeah, 980 West 22nd Street. At 4:10, Marlins and Mets. First game, Braxton Garrett. Got to have a great outing today, young man. The best outing of the year. If you can go 8 innings, please go 8 innings because there's a doubleheader and they play again at 7:10. 8:30 U.S. Open Cup. Inter Miami taking on Houston. Messi. You just heard Alex Winley. She thinks Messi will be coming off the bench. Dolphins and Bills set for Sunday at 1 o'clock. The Bills are favored by 2.5 points. We will have the pregame show starting off at 11 a.m. But there's a twist. We are doing the show, okay, live from Las Vegas. We'll be at Tommy Rockers in Las Vegas. So that's a Dolphins bar in Las Vegas. All right. So if you want to join us, come on out there. And don't forget, if you want to reach out to our friends at 3A Graphics, the number is 786-618-1443. That's 786-618-1443. If your company needs custom printing and embroidery, reach out to 3A Graphics. What else do we have? Did you see that Kaepernick, he wrote a letter to the Jets? Kaepernick is a first-class loser. This is a typical give me everything, I don't want to earn jack shit. I have so little respect for this clown. It's really amazing to me how even people fall for this shit. This guy lost his job, and yet after losing his job, like many do, he never fought for it. He wanted it handed to him. And sometimes you get cut when you don't deserve it. Sometimes you get fired when you don't deserve it. But a lot of people, when that happens, they end up actually trying to fight their way back. Except for this clown. This clown never fights his way back. So he writes a letter about putting them on the practice squad and this and that. And it's like, yo, dude, yo, fool. Because that's what Colin Kaepernick is. Why didn't you go to the CFL years ago? Now, it would be hilarious if the Jets actually put you on the practice squad. Because then I'd love to hear Jets fans, please start Kaepernick. Oh, man. And then Aaron Rodgers wants everybody to calm down. He wants former players, current players, and fans to calm down and, give it time. It's so easy for this guy who already has his championship, has his millions in the bank guaranteed, not coming back this year, to tell an entire franchise that hasn't seen any real success since 1969 to relax and chill out. This is not a team that is used to having winning seasons every year and playoffs and a Super Bowl every once in a while like the Green Bay Packers do. You're talking to the Jets fan base. What an idiot, dude. I saw that, and that was just way too funny right there. God. On a more serious note and a little bit of a sad note, chief statistician Jim Cox passed away at the age of 69. I saw it in the Miami Herald, and I knew Jim from his days there with the Heat when I was a regular Heat beat guy, and I was there all the time. He'd be one of those guys I'd run into and talk, and a really, really nice man, really good dude, and obviously a staple in our community for a long, long time. And read the story and everything, obviously, and just I just want to say our thoughts and prayers to the Cox family out there. As a guy that got to know him a little bit, not a close friendship or anything like that, but as a fellow coworker there. Working the Heat beat, Jim was always class, man. And the good Lord got a good one there. Good one is joining him in Jim Cox, and prayers and condolences to the Cox family. So thoughts and prayers, man. Just rough to lose people that you love, and can't imagine what the Cox family is going through now. Let me give you a little music history. We love doing that here on the show. First of all, let's start off with some birthdays today. Avril Lavigne is 39 years old. Lil Wayne is 41 years old. Gwyneth Paltrow is 51 years old. Meatloaf, born in 47 on this date. We lost him in 2022. Trick Daddy today is 50 years old. Anna Camp, actress, is 41 years old. Steve Kerr, basketball coach and player, former player, 58 years old. Who else here? That's it, huh? Some names here, but I don't know any of these names. Soccer player Francesco Totti is 47 years old. Sam Lerner, TV actor, I know him. He's 31. There you go. Those are the folks celebrating birthdays today. Let's go through a little music history on September 27th. First of all, in 86 on this date, Metallica bassist Cliff Burton died when the band's tour bus crashed in Sweden. He was 24 years old. In 73 on this date, Grand Funk Railroad had the #1 song with "We're an American Band." In 2005, the White Stripes streamed their concert in Columbia, Maryland, live on NPR.org, marking the first time the band did a webcast of one of their performances. In 2004, legendary producer Phil Spector was formally charged with the February 3rd, 2003 murder of actress Lana Clarkson. Boy, that hair of his. In 2008, Metallica started a 3-week run at the number one at the album charts with their 9th album, Death Magnetic. That is what happened today in Musica history. All right. So you got any questions here? Has Kaepernick still never heard? He never tried to go to the CFL. Now it's too late for him, but he should have tried to go to the CFL. So, but too late. He's just a loser. Indian summer is a warm period after the first frost. Has it been that cold already? Okay. Did you hear Tim Foley? Are you talking about Tim Foley like the Dolphins, Tim Foley, like Sports Rooms, Tim Foley? He passed away? Wow, I did not hear about that. Wow, that's sad. I like the commercial, even no game on Sunday. You will freeze bus stop in Buffalo. I don't know what that means, Sid. Try typing in English. I saw Joe Namath that senior citizen discount ad. Haha. Yeah. And you know what's happening with him as he's getting it's going to happen to all of us, right? You get older, your ears and your nose start growing, bro. His ears, holy crap, he is challenging elephants everywhere at this point. Nyborg says maybe Aaron Rodgers should offer to rent Madison Square Garden, turn it into Sweet Lodge with Ayahuasca for Jets fans. What is that? Ayahuasca? I don't know what that is. Anyway, Cap should have played anywhere. CFL, XFL, USFL. Yeah, he should have. That Tim Foley. Wow. Okay. That sucks. That sucks, dude. Yes, sir.
Whatever is what Roger says he smoked to gain clarity or something.
Oh.
Whatever the drug he took or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly what it was. Yeah.
Huasaka or whatever it is. Okay, whatever, bro. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. All right, so tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, we'll be broadcasting live from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Sean and I are headed to Las Vegas this evening. Friday, we'll be seeing U2 at the Sphere. I'm looking forward to that. We'll give you a recap of it on Saturday's show. the concert at the Sphere. Sunday, we're going to be at Tommy Rockers in Las Vegas. So if you happen to live or you're going to Las Vegas and you're a Dolphins fan, come on out, man. Our pregame show will start off at 8 a.m. over there. Wow. We got to wake up early, son. 8 a.m. over there, 11 a.m. here, obviously, for you guys here in the East Coast or wherever you're living, anywhere in the world, to watch the pregame show, whatever. It's 11 a.m. Eastern. You can adjust accordingly wherever you're at, and we'll have the pre- and post-game show for you live from Tommy Rockers in Las Vegas. Appreciate all of you out there. We thank Joe Shad, Matt Verderam. We thank Alex Winley, as always. Sean Stanley, the man that masters his entire platform. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button on the way out. I see 310 watching, 205 on the likes. Come on, baby. Hit that like. Join us on Sunday for the Dolphins and the Bills. It should be absolutely awesome. Hopefully it'll be a happy 57th birthday for me, because the only way my birthday is a good birthday on Sunday is if this team wins. That's what I need to cap off that Sunday. So let's hope that we get a birthday win on Sunday. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. No, actually, it'll be around 3 p.m. your time. We're going to be on later. That's the other thing I forgot to tell you. Thursday and Friday, we'll be on later in the afternoon. We're not doing the early show over there. I am not waking up that early. I'm going to sleep in. Anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow around 3 o'clock. Be good out there.
This is the Big